Good morning, everyone in Europe, and good afternoon for everyone here in Hobart. So, a few things happening today. Before I get into that, though, I just wanted to once again thank our hosts here, Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, and Mick in particular, who was helping us a lot get Zodiacs and bits, and Jason for everything you're doing. But we've still got a few issues. We're trapped here. I can't get back to France at the moment for a couple of weeks. Got a few challenges, and just wanted to give a shout out to John and Sally, who are looking after us rather grandly as well, and Pete for the car. So, a big help, and hopefully we'll be out of here soon. Anyway, so back to the track here. We've got a big split in the fleet. A couple of interesting things happening with Simon up here and Guy back there. That's where the action is at the moment. And no doubt you've possibly seen the update from Simon. We had a good chat this afternoon about what his intentions are, and it was really amazing. He's very much in control, quite surprised at what happened. It was an unexpected wave, and anyway, the net result is he doesn't have his hydrovane. He's hand steering and sailing sheet to tiller as best he can. He's sort of confident about what's going on, but it is a challenge downwind. And he's even, whilst Chichester class is very much on the agenda and may be the final outcome, no real decisions yet, just onward planning. And even contemplating the idea of once if he still has to get around Cape Horn with his plans for Chichester class, and get support in Ushuaia, he's even thinking, it's not so bad going up the Atlantic, and maybe he could do it. Maybe he could sail home. He fully expects that he can't win the race, and sail fast, but he is actually looking at all options, and one of them, just down the back there, that he might try and sail back to Les Sables d'Olonne without declaring Chichester. So let's see how that develops. I think a decision will be soon, because he also knows if he's going to stop, he's going to have to make a decision, because getting parts in there is a nightmare. Someone might have to fly down there and personally carry it, and there's a bit of organisation, so he stops as the least amount of time in Ushuaia and gets going again. He will still have to sail around Cape Horn to maintain Chichester status later on, so it's a developing story. The other one with Abolish, we'll explain the position there, but he is sailing, he's resting on board. He's got two issues. One is, he's got a job list on the boat that he needs to do. There's little issues there. But importantly, he needs rest, so he's not sailing hard, he's sailing comfortable so he can build his energy and so on. So, but no problems, as such. It's just he can't perform in a full racing sense for now. But everything is fine. So, coming back to Guy, I'll pick this up and we'll talk about Guy now. He's doing it tough. I was just sort of saying yesterday, I think, I'd be loving this, and then his tweet came in and said, oh, jeepers, he'll be glad when it's all over. He's no doubt thinking of the green fields of England right now, but he seems to be in control. He's not expressing anything else other than that, and conditions are tough. It's going to stay tough for the next couple of days and get particularly heavy at the end. So right now he's doing 5.5 knots, heading in the right direction. Not sure what he's got up. He was running bare poles and warps, and may very well be still doing that. 85-mile day. He's got big seas. He's forecasting seas there about 6.5 at the moment, which means it could run out to 7-8 metres or more. Generally, the direction is the same. They're building long, easy swells, and you can at least should be able to set the boat up to those conditions and not have to change it every 5 minutes of the day. Just got to hang on for the ride. He'll be strapped in down below and making the most of it. So generally, we'll just follow this weather through, just little bits and pieces. You can see it's lightening off a bit, going to the southwest, which is going to make those westerly swells curl a little bit. Okay, that's in 24 hours, and then you can see they've got this big system coming up behind, which is going to impact him greatly in a couple of days. So he doesn't get a respite. It'll drop back a little bit, but not too much. We're giving him regular detailed weather forecasting every sort of 6 hours, positions with wind forecast, gust forecast, and sea state, and it's quite solid. So then this is what's going to come over him. The good news is that He's in the northwesterly corner of the system. He's not down here, so the wind changes. In fact, I'll bring this back and just toggle it just so you can see how it evolves over. In a couple of days, he's going to be about there, which is, let's just say if you're going to imagine that spot, in a couple of days he'll be about here. We advise him not to go any further south, but the current course and so on is dictated by the waves and the wind. He knows he doesn't want to be there, but it's too dangerous to cut across the waves, so he's riding it out as best he can. So now if I'll leave the cursor there, we should be able to toggle this. This is sort of every hour, and you can see how it approaches. So he'll be about where I'll build this up one more. It might make it a bit more relevant to see what's going to happen, I think. So assume he's going to be about here when this system comes over. And you can see it's from the west. Oh, I've got to hit that again there. Okay, so it's definitely from the west, and then it's going to swing around to the northwest. This is when he'd be getting this breeze now. So it's a pretty solid northwest that's going to be gusting high. I'll show you the numbers on windy in a minute. And then it'll just slowly roll back to the southwest. Now he's going to run down that edge, which is a bit quiet. It is hard to predict because this whole system could change by the time it gets to him. But he's running that edge as it comes across. Now, he doesn't want to go down into this zone, so it's still a little bit debatable how it will pan out because the position of the system can go north and south, as well as east, to the east, of course. But it looks as if he might be in an okay position, and then it's going to blow like crazy, and the sea's going to build. He'll get 13-metre seas there. And then it'll roll across pretty fast. It's going to be a day. You'll have a day of some pretty intense stuff, and then you can see now the system's going straight north, okay, and it'll back off, but it's still a little bit unpredictable to say exactly what's going to happen. Now to build that over into windy, this is his current position now, and this is today's weather that he's getting. So you've got 32 knots of breeze there, and wind gusts up around 45, and you can see all of this stuff still coming. So it's going to, he's got no respite for the next couple of days. If we then start pushing this through, you'll see. I'll come back to the wind on this. You'll see how this new system starts to approach. This is the actual wind forecast, only 25 knots. He'll actually be sort of over here by this time. And this is forecast wind, not gusts. Then you're going to start to see some serious stuff here. And if we look generally at the size of this stuff, it's 60 knots. This is forecast gust. If it's forecasting 60 knots, it's going to be potentially higher than that, 70s and so on. So it's quite a big system coming, and by then he could be down around here somewhere. Sea state is forecast. You're getting actually there's 9 meters coming over the top. You can see here 8. These are all sort of 8, 9.5, 10 meters. Now, when that happens, you can pretty well predict that there's going to be seas up to 13 meters. So it's going to get quite heavy, and the direction's going to change a little bit to the southwest. So it could be quite challenging, but he'll know it's coming. We've already advised weather for the next 48 hours and advised that then there was a big one coming. But it's too hard to be specific yet because it can all change. But you can see there's stuff coming for Guy. So let's just see how it pans out and wish him the best, and we'll keep you updated as it goes through. Okay, so that's Guy's situation. We'll come back here and now over to Ian and Jeremy sitting in frustrations, but they're moving again. 2.2 knots. Ian's rocketing away. He was literally going nowhere for the previous 4 hours, facing the wrong direction. He's around Snares Island. I need to make that a little bit bigger. I've got a good view here, but you got the smaller view. So yeah, he's been zigzagging, but he's now at least moving. And Jeremy was doing a similar thing. He kept moving better than Ian. He's doing 3.4 now, just making the most of any breeze they can get. All right. And I'll now just pull this back one so you can see the weather movement as we go forward. We go forward a day. That's near enough to 24 hours, and it all changes. So Ian will have enough breeze to get going. He'll be okay with that. He's got to get around the bounties over here. Jeremy will have to decide what he wants to do, but he'll come across and maintain course because it'll all change. The weather will keep developing, so they'll be sailing anyway. So this is now 2 days ahead. So 2 days ahead, he's got solid northwesterly. That's going to be 30 knot forecast, gusting 40 probably, and the sea state's going to build. Waves now building to sort of 5 metres or more, and you can see a confusing line here if you look closely. And remember, you can all get on the web and get this real-time live 24 hours a day anytime you want, of course, and play yourself. But yeah, there's some wave interaction here, confused seas and so on. Ian will be a bit the same, so they've got a bit of work to do to keep progress going. Clouds, plenty of cloud cover, a little bit of rain behind here, but not much over here. And current-wise, it should be pretty benign. Yeah, there's a northerly current, that's okay. Something coming around the bottom for Ian. So all very interesting. So that's 2 days from now. And then that should be, let's see what we got. This is the second. Still a northerly, but he'll be able to reach across that. So that should be enough to get him around. Even if he's down here, he'll sneak up across, and then Ian will be getting some lighter stuff there as well. So no dramas, but some challenges for both of them to keep going. But they're making pretty good time. Gug is impressing me. He's just getting on with the job. He's doing all right with the weather. Weather's part of luck of the draw, but he's doing okay. He's making good times, 5.6 knots, high averages, 144 miles a day. Everything seems to be doing well, except he might be getting thirsty, but we'll see. And in terms of connection to the guys up the front here, say from Abelish to Gug, 1,100 miles. It's like not too bad. It's a week. He's still very much in touch. A week behind. Doing really well, very reliable boat. He's doing a real nice job at the moment, so that's about all I can say for him. And weather-wise, we come forward a day till tomorrow. Still plenty of sailing breezes, you'll like that, all coming up from the right direction. He's running the line on the no-go zone, so all is good there. Next day, he's over here, still a nice breeze, so he's got 2 days of boat speed, and even through to the third, which is a few days ahead. Nice sailing. Yep, all good stuff. And if we look at the waves for him, pretty reasonable. That's to be expected. There's 4 metre seas there. He'll get some blue sky. He's got a few patches of blue sky so he can work out where he is. That's nice. No rain though. You're not seeing much rain there. So all is okay for Gug. Come back to the wind, come back to today, and we'll talk about Kirsten and Abelish. You can see the impact of Abelish. He's sailing well, but not really able to race flat out at the moment. Absolute opposite for Kirsten. She's hungry, 7.2 knots. She's been flying lately. Straight line course, knows where she is, not reporting anything unusual. She's on fire. So, and now the weather, toggle this. I'll just come down a bit and we'll just toggle this through. In fact, I think we can put Simon in on this one. I'll make it smaller so we can talk about Simon at the same time. So right now, Simon, we've discussed it, 5.5 knots. You'll see strange causes, of course, but he's getting there. He really didn't want to go north. He really wants to get around here. Ushuaia's his target if he decides that's on the agenda. So he's still bound for Cape Horn and trying to get around. It's a lot easier, as you probably heard on the SoundCloud, even to Ushuaia to get around Cape Horn and then come up the other side rather than go through the Beagle Canal. So that's the intention. Anyway, he's got sort of 30 knot breezes, gusting a little bit higher, and there's no real storms coming for Simon in the next few days. So if we now just toggle this through every hour, so we're coming up to midnight tonight. Kirsten and Abelish are happy. Simon's got the wind picking up, but it's from the same direction and it's not getting extreme. His concern is when he is hand steering as often as he can without getting tired, but he's got to run a small head sail up forward, sheet at amidships, tow some warps and stuff, and try and let the boat sail downwind by itself. which has some risk, but he's managing that. So that nor'wester will pick up, get 30, 35 knots maybe, and 4 or 5 metre seas, but it's okay. No storms. You'll see then, this is a day and a half away for Kirsten and Abelish. Kirsten will be loving it. Abelish will set the boat up quite comfortable. It looks like there's going to be about 30 knots in this, gusting higher, but it's not extreme. The sea state will pick up, obviously. But again, this is more typical Southern Ocean stuff. It might get to 5 metres or something. And as I say, Abelish isn't in trouble, isn't concerned. He's sailing the boat. He just needs to rest and take it easy for a while. And that's exactly what he's doing. Kirsten should manage that all quite well. So that's a day and a half out, and then that front will go through. So that's just a typical weather front, not a storm. It'll swing around to the southwest, get organised. You can see a bit of green pop in there, and it just lightens up. And then they've got a solid southwesterly airflow, again, which is going to be strong. It'll be 30, 35s, gusting maybe to 40 or something, but it's all from the right direction, all on the starboard quarter, keeps them pushing. By then, Kirsten will be looking about getting around the corner and dropping south, and it's all backing off again. So Simon's got that little blip there. We've warned him about that one here. He's at the top of it, depends when he comes through. So again, he may have some, that'll build up there. That'll be gusting 40, maybe 45. But he can manage that. Anyway, he'll know it's coming for sure. So this is going through to the second, into the third, so that's 4 days away. A little system coming here, we'll keep an eye on that. This is where it changes the sea state, but by then Kirsten and Abelish will be over here, so it should settle out. So that's really about it. Not much more to report. Everything is good. All the comms with everyone is good. Everyone's reporting.